Hey guys, Rich Sapp here again, coming to you from the Edge Ultimate Martial Arts in Salybrook, New Jersey again today. Once again, I'm with my buddy Mark. What I'm going to show you today is I'm going to start off by using my partner's lapel to press his arm out to grab control. Only this time, he's not going to be so happy about me leaving his arm out there, and he's going to try and retrieve his arm, and we're going to work from that position to see the options we have when my partner takes his arm back, okay? So, Mark, if you don't mind, I'm going to have to ask you to take your lapel out one more time. Okay, I don't want to go through that whole process because it's really not that hard to figure out how to get your partner's lapel out, okay? So we're starting from closed guard. I got my partner's lapel free, okay? So once again, I'm going to grab at the tail, okay, and I'm coming under his arm with it, okay? I want to come under his arm, grab the tail, and feed it up nice and strong, okay? Like in previous videos, I'm making a little bit of a rope here, and I want it to be nice and tight so I can use this to press his bicep as I use my hips and my free arm to peel this and pull him forward and press this arm out nice and high. Okay, so from here, we've been using this tail to set up our Ezekiel chokes in previous videos. Okay, so one more time, Mark, posture up. This time, Mark isn't going to be so accommodating and leave his arm out for me. He's going to take his arm back, okay? So I'm coming underneath, I'm feeding, I'm collecting my lapel nice and taut. I'm breaking him down. This time as I break him down, he's just going to come right over the top. As he does that, I'm just feeding. And as I feed, I'm hipping out to my side, okay? I'm using this to initially trap his shoulder. I'm bringing my far side foot into my partner's hip. My top foot, I'm going on the inside hip. From here, this top leg, I want my foot on his near side hip, and I want my knee on his shoulder, breaking him down. My bottom leg, I got my foot in his hip, and my knee needs to come up to the inside of his shoulder, okay? This hand, I just got his lapel, and I got his shoulder isolated, and now my free hand, I'm just gonna give him a handshake. I'm going right to his palm, and I'm pulling up on it. From here, I'm gonna do a shoulder lock. So all I'm gonna do is, at this point, I'm just gonna arch, okay? And I'm gonna take my shoulder lock. This is kind of like a key lock or an Americano, whatever you wanna call it, okay? So one more time. Starting off the same way, I'm feeding, making a nice little rope, making my hook, pressing, hip down. I'm coming to control his head so he can't posture up. He knows he needs to get his posture, so he's gonna take his arm immediately and come over the top. As he does that, I'm feeding and switching hands, okay? From this position, foot comes into his hip, foot comes to his hip. Knees go together. I want his elbow on the floor, coming across his palm, lifting up and arching my back, okay? So we're gonna turn, I want my head this side, okay? So you can see a little bit more of what's going on from this angle, I believe. Okay, so we're starting off in the same closed guard position. I'm finding his tail. I'm opening him up. I'm coming underneath his arm. I'm making my handle here. Peeling, breaking him down. Okay, from here he brings his arm over. I'm immediately pressing and switching. Okay. I'm coming over to hold him down for a second here as I do my hip. I'm hipping all the way out, getting to my side, okay? This foot immediately has to block this hip, okay? Because if not, he's just gonna pass me, and I need to get my knee up. This foot is sitting on his hip, knee is on his shoulder. I'm squeezing my knees together. I'm getting his hand. I'm pulling his arm up a little bit. From here, his elbow is on the floor, and I'm just arching my hips up to finish my Americana, okay? So from this position here, it's just like a key lock position, right? I'm getting my partner into position where his elbow is at his shoulder and his hand is up, okay? As long as I isolate his shoulder, his arm doesn't move in that way. If I'm loose on his shoulder here, he's just gonna posture up as I start to do this, and I'm just gonna end up right back in this position here, okay? And now I'm back into a fight, which I don't want. So one more time. I'm finding his lapel. I'm coming under his hand, feeding it, thumb down, pulling up, making my rope, creating my hook, punching him out, breaking his posture down, controlling his head so he can't just posture up. He starts to bring his arm around so he can get his posture back. In one motion, I need to pass and get here. Okay? My foot is in his hip. My knee comes up. My foot is on his hip on the near side, and my knee is breaking his shoulder down. Now, if you notice, Mark immediately went to my ankle, okay? He's smart. He knows he needs to press my leg to get out of here, okay? We're going to address that in a second. So from here, I'm squeezing, coming over, elbow to the floor, an arch to take my shoulder lock or a modified key lock, whatever you want to call it. So let's stay in this position for a second, Mark. So as I do this, he immediately goes to my ankle, okay? Because he knows he needs to get past that leg to get his arm safe again. So if he does start to stuff it and pass it, I need to be aware that all I need to do is kick it through. I'm keeping this lapel here, and I can come right up to the back situation, and because I have this position right here, I can still take a shoulder lock. Keep your posture for a second more. I can still take a shoulder lock right here just by pressing my chest down upon his shoulder and using this grip to open up his shoulder. So turn towards the camera. Head to the camera, please. Okay. So if I'm pressing down here and keeping this isolated, okay, which I'm using this to do, and come to this position, it's still the same shoulder lock, right? So even as I come out to his back, I can finish that. So let's just open your guard, head to this side again. So if we're here, I come through, I break him down, he comes over, okay? And I start to do my switch and come out, and he presses my leg and goes over it. Okay? So I came through. You see how his gi is still wrapped around, his gi is still wrapped around his arm, and my arm is still underneath his arm, okay? So from this position right here, my chest is on his shoulder is isolated in this position. Can you get your arm out of there really easily? It's a little bit difficult, okay? Not impossible, okay? But if I move quick, I can start attacking my shoulder lock. If he breaks down the way he just did, then you could just release it and come to his back and just move on to whatever it is I want to move on to. That's good, Mark. So you can say it. So that's basically, if my partner, that's one of the options I have if my partner starts to take his arm back, okay? I want to go for my choke, so I want to immediately get a choke in on this guy and end this, right? He's smart. He knows he needs to get that arm back, get his posture back, okay? Not a safe place to be broken down on my guard. So the minute he brings that arm over, I'm feeding it, pulling it across my body, getting his elbow to the floor, getting my foot to his far side hip as a frame so he can't just go over it, driving my knee up nice and high into his chest, my top leg, foot on the hip, knee pressing the shoulder down, and I'm just basically arching my back, okay? And that gives me a shoulder lock, okay? If I fail on the shoulder lock and he starts pressing me, all I'm gonna do is go out to his back, okay? So that's an option you could take when your partner tries to bring his arm back in. Like always, I have a full system on the lapel art on the BJJ Fanatics website. If you go to bjjfanatics.com, search Rich Saab, you'll see the 2 videos I have there. One of them is lapel art, which I go over a lot of this stuff on. And the second one's called Control Advanced Attack, where I basically set up control positions from different positions and show you how to advance your position and start your attacks based on your partner's reactions to your control positions. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you need to reach out to me, any questions, anything at all, reach out. Rich Saab at Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. You can find my YouTube page. Peace.